Hello everyone, I'm Linda Rendle, CEO of the Clorox Company, and I'm joined today by Kevin Jacobsen, our CFO. Thank you for your interest in Clorox and for your attendance today. Before we get started, a good reminder that this presentation contains forward-looking statements, and we appreciate that you will all take that as serious as we do. With that in mind, let's get started. Today we'll discuss progress on our Ignite strategy and our plans to accelerate profitable growth while dealing with a very challenging environment head-on. Specifically, Clorox is well positioned to enhance profitability and create long-term shareholder value. First, our brands have delivered significant growth over the last 2 years and have never been stronger. Second, we are controlling what we can by taking decisive actions to mitigate near-term headwinds and build a stronger, more resilient company for the future. And finally, 2.5 years ago, we began our Ignite strategy implementation with the goals of strengthening our competitive moat and accelerating profitable growth. Ignite continues to position us well for the future and is leveraging our brand strength and the consumer trend tailwinds to sustain top-line momentum. Let's begin with a quick overview of who we are and our view of our competitive moat. We have a diverse portfolio of leading brands trusted and loved by consumers in the health and wellness and household essentials spaces. We compete in over 100 markets around the world, but the vast majority of our sales are in the US. Our North Star is maximizing economic profit. We do that with a choiceful and disciplined playbook with 4 main components. The first is our bedrock of leading brands. Second, we are purposeful and targeted in our participation strategy. Third, we have discipline in the DNA and drive operational excellence. And finally, we believe in the link between our impact on the world and long-term value creation for our shareholders, which is why we are clear on our purpose to champion people to be well and thrive every single day. We best create competitive advantage with our brands by embedding purpose and ESG into the business. As I mentioned, the bedrock of this playbook is our portfolio, and our brands have never been stronger. Our businesses have grown significantly since the beginning of the pandemic. We delivered 20% growth on a 2-year stack basis in the front half of fiscal 22. All of our segments delivered 2-year stacks above our growth target. The investments we've made in our brands through advertising and sales promotion, innovation, and building supply to meet demand are paying off, and demand remains robust. As a result, our consumer value metric, which measures the amount of our portfolio that consumers deem superior, is at an all-time high of 75%, which supports pricing actions that allow us to partially offset inflationary headwinds. As we built supply, we returned to pre-pandemic shares in aggregate and are driving share growth in the majority of our businesses. A few share highlights include wipes, where we delivered double-digit share growth for the second consecutive quarter in Q2. Hidden Valley Ranch share has grown 26 of the last 27 quarters, and in international, share is growing in 10 of our 12 categories in the most recent period. In addition, household penetration and consumer loyalty metrics remain high. Wipes household penetration remains elevated versus pre-pandemic. Brita is at the highest level in 8 years, over-indexing with millennials and low-income consumers. And Hidden Valley achieved an all-time household penetration high in Q2. For our portfolio, dollars per buyer, dollars per trip, and trips per buyer are all up versus pre-Ignite. We have strong brands and very good momentum on the top line, and we plan to continue investing to maintain that advantage and ensure the long-term health of our business. Our portfolio is exposed to strong demand-driven tailwinds that have guided our investment choices, and we expect will fuel long-term growth for our business. It all starts with innovation, which is the heart of our Ignite strategy. We continue to invest in our multi-year innovation pipeline to drive category and market share growth. We also continue to invest behind our brands to engender consumer loyalty and maintain brand strength and relevancy through high ROI advertising and sales promotion spend. We invested to expand our supply chain to meet this greater demand and better adapt to periods of higher supply and demand volatility. We also accelerated our digital transformation, including the transition to a new global ERP, to better position us for the long term in supply chain, digital commerce, innovation, and brand building, while also driving important efficiency benefits. Our digital transformation efforts are on track, and we have begun the work on our new ERP. We expect to start seeing the benefits from our digital transformation flow through our P&L toward the end of the Ignite strategy period and continuing thereafter. Combined, we believe these investments will enable us to maintain top-line momentum, strengthen our competitive moat, and build greater long-term resiliency and agility. We began implementing our Ignite strategy more than 2 years ago with the goal of strengthening our advantages and to widen and deepen our moat. As I said, innovation is the central theme of Ignite. We innovate on how we create fuel, how we deliver superior consumer experiences, how we work, and how we evolve our portfolio over time. Importantly, Ignite fully integrates ESG into our business to maximize the opportunities and our impact. Ignite is working to create a virtuous cycle that strengthens our advantage. But certainly a lot has changed in 2 years. There have been unprecedented tailwinds and unprecedented headwinds surrounding our business, from significant changes in consumer behavior to the worst inflationary period in the US in nearly 40 years. Our strategy remains relevant in this environment, and we believe it continues to position us well to build a stronger, more resilient company over time. While there have been massive tailwinds around our portfolio that we're capitalizing on to drive higher growth, stronger brands, and accelerate our strategy, there has also been very strong headwinds that we have to address head on. Let me start with how we're mitigating these shorter-term headwinds. We are executing well across a broad toolbox to rebuild margins. We continue to have a robust cost savings pipeline, and we are on track for another strong year of cost savings. We are well positioned based on the superior value of our brands and lower elasticities than pre-pandemic to execute pricing across our portfolio. As of Q2, pricing was in market on 50% of the portfolio, with additional rounds of pricing announced on many brands that go into effect throughout the back half of fiscal 22. This will result in 85% of our portfolio seeing at least 1 or 2 rounds of pricing by fiscal year end. In addition, we are beginning to remove COVID-related expenses, including in-housing production and executing other supply chain optimizations as demand normalizes. Our team around the world is laser-focused on executing these actions, and I'm confident we are taking the right steps to rebuild margins. Turning to our portfolio tailwinds, we continue to see pandemic-driven shifts in consumer behavior that we are leaning into to create long-term growth platforms across our brands. Our Ignite strategy initially leaned into 4 main consumer megatrends: health and wellness, multicultural millennials, responsibility, and personalization and customization. In addition, the last 2 years of the pandemic have created a higher awareness of health and hygiene, greater preference for trusted brands, spending more time at home, reinforced by enduring hybrid work, and digital adoption acceleration. These shifts in behavior have reinforced the megatrends and have given rise to new consumer need spaces that offer long-lasting growth opportunities. Today, we will cover 3. The first is help me feel healthier every day. Second, help me create joyful experiences. And third, help me act responsibly. Let's look at a few examples of how we're innovating to address these consumer needs and in creating bigger, stickier innovation platforms. Starting with the first one, help me feel healthier every day. People want the power to protect themselves so they can safeguard their family's well-being and health. More people are taking proactive steps to protect their health and avoid illness. COVID has reframed disinfection's role in preventative health across occasions and generations. This is a long-term trend that has accelerated during the pandemic. In addition, COVID-19 has left many consumers seeking the confidence that comes from scientifically advanced solutions to protect their family's well-being and health. Our recent innovations can provide help and reassurance around these needs. Starting with our retail cleaning business, Clorox Misters is a category-disrupting platform that kills 99% of germs on hundreds of surfaces. It's aerosol-free and has a reusable sprayer with refill model to reduce plastic waste. We can build on this product system for years. Led by our brand purpose of helping people be well and thrive, Clorox Clinical aims to be the #1 trusted champion for the underserved immunocompromised. We provide clinical-level germ kill so people with heart disease, autoimmune conditions, and cancer can live like others without worry. Clorox disinfecting wipes on the go brings the power of convenient disinfecting outside the home and on the go. The versatile offerings allow people to keep wipes at the ready so they can take on dirty surfaces and help fight the spread of viruses and bacteria wherever they go. In this consumer needs space, we believe the Clorox brand can continue to go further than where it does today. That said, international and professional products continue to be attractive long-term growth runways that we will continue to make choiceful investments in to build Clorox into a trusted global cleaning and disinfecting brand. Since we spoke last year, we have successfully doubled the number of countries that our Clorox disinfecting wipes are in, and we're seeing growth and market share gains. As consumers have begun to return to public spaces, they have realized that some moments matter more than others. These moments that matter are the focus of our out-of-home efforts. Many of these moments, for example, occur in travel and entertainment, and we've partnered with companies like Alaska Airlines, Enterprise, and AMC. Together, we play a significant role in helping consumers feel safe and secure. Our partnerships in out-of-home also benefit our retail business. Our most recent analysis shows consumers who are exposed to these partnerships spend more dollars on Clorox in retail. This includes increased purchase frequency and higher spend per trip. We can also help people feel healthier every day with solutions from many of our other trusted brands. Burt's Rapid Rescue Cold Sore expands our lip care business into the performance segment in the first of a multi-year platform. Launched in August, we are already in the top 5 in the category. Glad with Clorox combines our 2 largest brands to provide a technology and experience that eliminates food and bacterial odors. Sales have exceeded expectations, and in the first 9 months, we saw Glad's highest new product trial rates in the past 5 years, which establishes a strong foundation to expand this platform. Brita continues to live its purpose of making water better for people and the planet. We have an emerging channel expansion opportunity with municipalities to provide safe drinking water to over 10 million households with lead service lines. As the #1 trusted brand in the category, and with Brita Elite, the only pour-through filter that removes lead and lasts 6 months, Brita is advantaged to serve municipality needs. We are building an ecosystem of resources to help municipalities comply with recent EPA lead and copper rule regulations, and beginning to enter into multi-year partnerships with cities to provide filtering solutions. In our vitamins, minerals, and supplements business, we are introducing trial and travel sizes for some of our best-selling items, allowing loyal users to take their wellness on the go, and new consumers curious about wellness to test products at a lower price point without compromising quality and efficacy. These 5-day servings provide convenience for consumers, plus drive household penetration by prompting trial and repeat. These are just some of the examples of how we are helping people to feel healthier every day. Not only do consumers want to feel healthier every day, but they want to create excitement in their daily lives, particularly as they settle into their hybrid work routines. With the role of home permanently changed, people are hungrier than ever for ways to create joyful experiences in their everyday, as routines are comfortable but can be boring. As people have spent more time at home, they are seeking more surprise and delight in the everyday and looking for new ways to connect with family and friends. And multicultural millennials in particular are looking for ways to unleash their creativity and put their stamp on things. Hidden Valley Ranch Night transforms the ordinary weeknight dinner routine into fun and craveable moments. With new additions to our seasonings line and a major marketing investment, we are creating new occasions for the brand by solving the weeknight dinner doldrums with a flavor and recipes that everyone loves. Kingsford Signature flavor blends infuse herbs and spices directly into the fuel to create an extraordinary sensorial experience. We are attracting new multicultural millennials who love to explore flavor and be creative in their cooking. This highly differentiated platform provides growth across briquettes and pellets over multiple years. Responsibility is growing as a core focal point in consumers' lives. Despite the pandemic disruption, social and environmental justice remains at the forefront of society. Multicultural millennials in particular are committed to sustainable living and have a high sense of responsibility to their communities and to the environment. Consumers want better choices from brands in this space, and they have high expectations for product performance. Glad is committed to being the leader in sustainability. We created highly engineered bags that use less plastic without compromising strength. In addition, we are innovating through strategic partnerships, such as with Recyclops, to offer recycling services in areas across the country that have no convenient recycling option. In international, Glad to be Green was launched 2 years ago, and we continue to innovate and expand the program. Through reducing our reliance on non-renewable materials, we are working on using more recovered and renewable resources, diverting more waste away from landfill through an end-of-life technology, and ensuring that we are offering authentically sustainable solutions without compromising on performance, providing our consumers better choices. With Fresh Step Outstretch, we invented a concentrated litter that lasts 50% longer. Not only does this provide a huge benefit to consumers of changing the litter box less often, Outstretch also creates a sustainability win because people don't have to throw away perfectly good litter. This is a game-changing platform that will create multiple years of growth. The Clorox refillable cleaning system is a spray that allows consumers to make a difference for the environment, but not at the expense of what matters most to them, efficacy and value. The reusable bottle and concentrate technology is intuitive, efficacious, and the concentrate packaging uses 80% less plastic than a typical 16-ounce spray bottle. Plus, it's shippable through the mail. The consumer tailwinds have created outsized opportunities for our portfolio, which we are capitalizing on through platform-based innovation programs enabled through the strength of our in-market execution. We are executing with excellence, and our partnership with retailers continues to get stronger. Recent share reports show that we are growing share at the majority of our top retailers. To support this, we are focused on creating world-class omni experiences. Brita is a great example of this capability in action in a category where over 1/3 of shoppers take 1 to 3 weeks to research and purchase a water filtration product. We have built an omni category vision that aims to simplify the shopping experience and help consumers convert faster, simplifying assortment across digital and physical shelves, and increasing category education. Earlier in the year, Brita put omni planning into action by developing our most successful back-to-college campaign ever. The program seamlessly connected upper funnel awareness, such as Twitch sponsorships and Instagram memes, to shoppable influencer content, and finally lower funnel conversion tactics across key retailers. The campaign drove over 350 million impressions and resulted in strong double-digit sales in the back-to-college pulse period. Our executional excellence and Omniplan strength is supported by our digital transformation journey. The pandemic has accelerated digital adoption, and it is critical that we meet consumers when they shop, wherever that may be, which is increasingly online. Our e-commerce business has nearly doubled in the last 2 years and now represents approximately 14% of total company sales. It is expected to continue to grow at an outsized rate in the longer term, and we will continue to innovate to meet consumer needs in this space. Consumers increasingly expect highly personalized and customized interactions with our brands, and we have continued to make progress on our goal of knowing 100 million consumers in order to deliver that high-value experience to them. We're continuing to prioritize our digital marketing investments, which represents 2/3 of our media spend. The acceleration of our digital transformation that we announced at the beginning of the fiscal will strengthen these areas and support our ability to execute our plans. These actions and investments build upon the progress we've made on Ignite since it launched in 2019. Our brands are stronger and more relevant. Not only are we maintaining strong household penetration and repeat rates, our loyal consumers are buying more. Our businesses are stronger. For example, Kingsford sales are up strong double digits on a 2-year stack basis, driven by sustained elevated grilling levels. Glad sales are also up double digits on a 2-year stack, and Glad trash share is up after a long time being flat to down, driven by strong consumer demand and innovation. Our innovation platforms are generating 2 times to 3 times more net sales impact. The average annual cost savings from the last 2 years exceeds our 175 basis point EBIT margin accretion goal. And lastly, we've been advancing our ESG initiatives, including improving people's health and well-being through initiatives such as product stewardship and fighting climate change by reducing virgin fiber and plastic packaging by 50% by 2030, and committing to science-based targets, which put the company on a path to net zero emissions by 2050. The actions we're taking today give me confidence that we can not only manage through the short-term headwinds, but come out a stronger, more resilient company that can deliver higher levels of consistent and profitable growth. Before I hand it over to Kevin, let me reinforce that our brands are stronger than ever. We are taking decisive actions to mitigate extraordinary near-term headwinds, and we are fully leveraging our brand strength and consumer trends to sustain top-line momentum. I remain confident that Clorox is well-positioned to enhance profitability and create long-term shareholder value. And now over to Kevin to provide a financial update. Kevin?
Thank you, Linda, and thank you everyone for joining us today. What I'd like to do now is spend a few minutes and provide a brief financial update. And let me start with 3 key messages. First, Clorox has a long track record of delivering value for our shareholders. Additionally, based on the success of our Ignite strategy, as well as the changing consumer behaviors, we remain focused on accelerating the performance of the company. And this is in service of our broader ambition to deliver total shareholder return in the top third of our peer group. And while Linda, myself, the entire leadership team are quite confident in our ability to deliver value over the long term, we recognize we're facing a near-term challenge. And we believe we're taking the right actions. We're leaning into our cost savings program. We're pricing the bulk of our portfolio. And we're on track to return to profitable growth by the fourth quarter. Now, turning to our returns. As I mentioned, we have a long track record of creating value for our shareholders. The way we've been able to do this is we focus on delivering profitable growth and being disciplined in how we deploy our cash. And as a result of that, we have a long history of delivering strong cash flow. We saw that only accelerate during the pandemic as more consumers came into our portfolio. And as we look forward, we'll continue to be disciplined in how we deploy our capital. At Clorox, what we understand very clearly is how we generate the best returns for our investors is by focusing on investing to maintain a healthy core portfolio. And these last 2 years have been no exception. As a result of the success of our Ignite strategy and the new growth opportunities we've identified as a result of the pandemic, we are leaning in even further. Over the last 2 years, we've increased investments in our brands to engage consumers and build household penetration, in addition to supporting our strong innovation program. Additionally, we continue to invest to increase our production capacity, working to keep up with the increased demand for our products. And importantly, while we're working to create value over the near term, we're making the necessary investments to ensure Clorox is positioned to deliver value over the very long term. This year, we announced we'll be investing approximately $500 million over the next 5 years to expand our digital capabilities, ensuring our ability to compete well into the future. While we continue to invest in our base business, we will also continue to support our dividend. And we have a long track record of increasing our dividend on an annual basis. Additionally, as we generate excess cash, we'll continue to look for ways to return that cash to our shareholders. Over the last 5 years, we've returned almost $5 billion to our shareholders through both our dividend and our share buyback program. And we've been able to do this while maintaining a very low level of leverage. And this gives us the financial flexibility to invest for additional growth opportunities. And folks, when you focus on driving profitable growth and you're disciplined in how you deploy cash, you can generate some very nice returns on invested capital. And Clorox has been able to do this for many years. We consistently operate at the very high end of our peer group. And as you can see, last year was no exception. And now, as I mentioned at the beginning, our goal is to accelerate the financial performance of this company. We're targeting sales growth of 3 to 5% per year, expanding EBIT margins 25 to 50 bips, and continuing to generate very strong cash flow. In regard to sales growth, we've continued to raise our expectations. During our previous strategy period, we averaged about 2% growth. Based on our Ignite strategy and our belief that we can drive more value from an innovation program and we can create a more stable, consistent international division, we raised our expectation to 2 to 4% growth. And then as a result of the pandemic and the changing consumer behaviors that benefit both our global cleaning and disinfecting portfolio as well as our household essentials portfolio, we further raised our expectations to 3 to 5%. At the midpoint, our goal is to double the growth rate of the company over our Ignite strategy period. And while Linda and myself are quite confident in our ability to deliver value over the long term, we recognize we're facing some near-term challenges. We, like many of our peers, are facing significant cost inflation while at the same time managing through a challenging global supply chain. And while this creates a challenging near-term environment, we are confident the actions we are taking position us to fully recover these cost headwinds over time. Importantly, the decisive actions we are taking position us to begin rebuilding margins this year, and we expect that to continue as we move into fiscal year 23. To address these challenges, we've announced or we've taken pricing on approximately 85% of our portfolio. In addition to our pricing actions and our strong cost savings program, we'll also be stepping out of the supply chain costs we've built up during the pandemic to help us service elevated demand, as well as create resiliency in our supply chain to deal with the ongoing disruptions. This work is well underway and will begin delivering value later this year. As a result of our actions, we remain on track to begin rebuilding margins in the fourth quarter. And so folks, let me end this presentation where Linda started. We believe the investment case for Clorox remains strong. We're going to continue to invest in our brands, further building out our competitive moat. We have an attractive business model that generates very strong cash flow, and we're going to continue to be disciplined in how we deploy our capital. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today, and we hope you can stay for our Q&A session to follow. Thank you, everyone.